Seeking for results is like being on the train where your energies are oriented, your intentions are set, and all your efforts flow into that direction. But let's pause for a moment and recognize that there have been millions of successful people in the past. Millions of famous people have lived before this age. Wondrous things they have achieved in their lives, a lot of hard work they have put towards these end goals. And where are they all now? They're lost in time. And who lives eternally forever? It is those who are aligned with the soul, who awaken to higher consciousness. So first of all, we need to recognize what is the true goal that we're putting our efforts to. What is the highest achievement of our incarnation here on earth? And what is the path? This is a second step. What is the path towards attaining that goal? Once we get more clarity of the goal itself, then we can ask the right question: how do we attain it? When it comes to mundane goals, have you ever noticed that the harder you chase them, the further they slip from your grasp? Or when you attain them, they don't bring much happiness because immediately there is another goal. There's another thing. And people invest so much effort, so much trying, so much getting obsessed over these goals and outcomes. But if all the efforts are going to something very short-lived and perishable, so much effort is wasted, so much energy is wasted. Some people ask, what if I try and do my best and it doesn't come? Well, that means that perhaps it is not truly meant to be yours. And you're putting so much effort into something that is not truly for you or yours. And certain other things in life, they just happen. They just come out of nowhere. And there you go. It's right here. So the intelligence of life, on one hand, we may say it's mysterious, but on the other hand, it is obvious. You achieve effortlessly that which is truly meant for you. The effort is required to become effortless. Full consciousness is effortless consciousness. What requires effort is deconditioning, balancing distortions, removing self-created obstacles which have accumulated out of ignorance. He who clutches tightly loses what he seeks, while he who opens his hands receives without asking. Just like the water from the waterfall flows effortlessly into a river, and from the river reaches effortlessly the ocean below, because the law of gravity naturally brings it down. The water simply surrenders to the gravity and allows the journey to unfold. So by observing the nature, we may notice that it operates without resistance or attachment. I will repeat that the nature operates without resistance or attachment. And yet humanity lives as if with a stick in the wheel, trying to keep up with the natural laws of the universe, with the natural cycles, with the natural rhythms of Earth. The same goes for peace, that when we stop chasing peace and we simply do meditation practice without expecting anything in return, results will come, but not through force, not trying forcefully to stop the mind, to freeze into the present moment. No, that happens by embracing non-attachment, because true change requires patience and deeper intelligence or faith. Effortlessness arises in presence level of consciousness because that's where we experience the non-doership. And of course, having lived our lives for 20, 30, 40 decades, well, decades of effort, having lived our life those few decades with effort, coming to presence, non-doership can be fleeing or can be deeply moving because suddenly activities and doership is no longer priority. Now we need to learn how to be for the sake of being. Once you have learned how to live your life like anybody else, how to meditate, how to work with your energies, ever moving, ever changing, then you become ready for being, to become a true human being. This is where one learns how to be the space for the energy, how to be the space for activities, for happenings, for experiences. So the art and the secret of being is in the space. It requires patience because when a student sits in presence just to move to the next level of consciousness, it is not authentic presence. Once you sit for the sake of sitting, be for the sake of being, and become the space for activities, you will notice that occurring flow of energies will begin to reshape. And bit by bit, you will notice subtle shifts that you are transcending what previously required effort. You're becoming more effortless by being the space for the effort. Instead of striving for perfection, allow yourself to be imperfect. Be present with perfection and imperfection. In presence at first, sometimes nothing seems to change, but over time, with patience, you will notice more and more subtle changes, subtle shifts. You will find the fruit of non-attachment. So in other words, when you stopped caring about the results and you stayed present for the sake of being present, you have cleared the space for peace to arise. By surrendering to this process of transcendence, presence, you more naturally aligned with the natural rhythms of life. Because now, instead of resisting or seeking, attaching or repulsing. You became the space itself, and you no longer resist what comes. You no longer forcefully try to make something happen when it's not the right time yet. Therefore, you embrace a more natural way. At the same time, there's a little story about a butterfly which was struggling to emerge from its cocoon. And observing this, a meditation student was considering helping it. But the teacher has stopped him and said that if you will interfere, the butterfly will never gain the strength that it needs to fly. Let it struggle. It is through that struggle that butterfly becomes stronger. It transforms. It gains the strength of wings. That is a natural process for the butterfly. So the same for everybody, that at first one needs great discipline of meditation, of practice to begin controlling the mind and thoughts and impulses that arise. Once this discipline settles in, one becomes more ready for a way of being. Stepping into the way of being is aligning with the process of natural unfoldment. So this is why I continuously repeat that presence level of consciousness is where we build the foundation towards full consciousness. Someone may ask, but I want full consciousness so much. I want to achieve these higher states so much. How come my deep striving can block the results? Striving itself is not the issue, but clinging or attaching to specific outcome creates tension and resistance.